This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. Well, it's looking like the mainstream media is finally admitting what we've been saying for many years. President Biden was not mentally fit. Wow, it's as if we've been saying this for what, 4 to 5 years? I mean, guys, ever since even 2020, it's clear that there was something wrong with Joe. Now, in 2020, you could argue, well, he was still there mentally. Yeah, he had some weird moments here and there, but it's not like he was completely out of it. Well, that all changed in 2021, and ever since then, it's clear this guy lost it mentally. It is clear to anyone with eyes, with a brain, with ears that, okay, there's something wrong here. I mean, every other day, there was something crazy happening. I mean, everyone remember when he fell up the stairs? I mean, it's like, first of all, how is that even possible? You didn't trip down the stairs. That's one thing. You somehow tripped up the stairs. And it was like every other day, it seemed like he was falling, he was tripping, he had a hard time walking. There was something wrong for the entire presidency. And every time Biden did speak, it sounded bad. And it seemed like every day was getting worse. Slowly but surely, things were getting worse with Biden. Well, now the mainstream media is finally saying, yeah, President Biden was mentally unfit, and they're not just reporting that. No, there are some in the mainstream media now trying to cash in on this, as Jake Tapper of CNN and Alex Thompson of Axios, they have a new book called The Original Sin, President Biden's Decline, Its Cover-Up, and His Disastrous Choice to Run Again. This is real. So, they said for years that President Biden was the most fit president ever. There's nothing wrong with him. I mean, Axios, for crying out loud, they said repeatedly that, oh, all the aides are having a tough time keeping up with Joe. He's like running a marathon every day. He's the healthiest president ever. But now these same people are turning around and saying, oh, by the way, yeah, President Biden was not mentally fit. Buy my book. Which, listen, I don't care who you are, this is disgusting what these people did. They pretended for years that everything was fine, but after Biden is gone, they're now saying, oh, we were lied to this entire time. President Biden was mentally unfit. Really? You now heard about this? You finally realized, oh, there's something wrong here? I mean, you don't need anonymous sources telling you that there's something wrong with this guy. This guy was having a hard time walking. He had a hard time speaking properly. There was something wrong with him. But ignore the fact that the media is full of crap. There are some fascinating details with this book that should make everyone furious, because this book confirms what we've been saying for many years now. This administration knew what was going on. And they didn't just know, they covered it up, and it was a lot worse than even I thought. I thought it was bad. I mean, I thought this was worst case scenario. But by some miracle, according to this book, things were even worse. Joe Biden's physical deterioration was so severe in 2023 and 2024 that advisors privately discussed the possibility he needed to use a wheelchair if he won re-election. CNN's Jake Tapper and Axios' Alex Thompson write in their new book, Original Sin. Yeah. The first thing they mention is, oh yeah, by the way, if Biden won re-election by some miracle that he was never going to win, if he somehow won, he needed to be in a wheelchair to function. Now, listen, being in a wheelchair is not the end of the world. Guys, FDR was president for many years, and I know a lot of people don't like him, but the point is, FDR was there mentally. Now, physically, he couldn't walk or whatever. That's a different story. But if you're there mentally, it doesn't really matter. Like, okay, you're in a wheelchair. I mean, Greg Abbott of Texas, he's in a wheelchair, yet everyone knows that he's there mentally. The difference is, Biden was not here mentally. Nor physically, apparently. It sounds like he wasn't here physically or mentally, which is a bad combination, and especially mentally. I mean, physically, that's one thing. It's like, okay, you can't walk, whatever. That does not impede you being president. That's a different story. Apparently, it's both. The discussions reflected the extent of the president's declining health, particularly the significant degeneration of his spine. Wait, his spine? Wait, since when was his spine a problem? Like, they might have said something a long time ago that, oh, there's something iffy with his spine, but he's fine. I don't remember a single time ever them saying, oh yeah, his spine is just falling apart. It's like degenerating, it's melting. They never said this. I don't remember them saying anything like this. If they did, please let me know, because this is a serious issue. Guys, we're not talking about, oh, they didn't know and he just fell off the map. No, that's not what happened here. Apparently, they knew that his spine was melting. They're like, yeah, his spine was melting the entire time. He could barely walk. That alone is a scandal and a half. I mean, you're lying about the president's health. You're not saying anything about his spine? That is not good. So that puts into question everything. Because now it's confirmed, yeah, they knew about it. They knew about his spine. It was melting, which it doesn't matter if they didn't know his mental decline. That's a different story. Whatever. Fine. Whatever. But it's clear they knew something was wrong. Which, of course, anyone with eyes could tell you there was something wrong with it. But now they know for a fact, or we now know that they knew that something was wrong with his spine at the bare minimum. Biden's physical deterioration, most apparent in his halting walk, had become so severe that there were discussions about putting the president in a wheelchair, but they couldn't do so until after the election. So they knew it was so bad that they had to wait till after the election to put the guy into the wheelchair. What? So they were trying to cover it up. This confirms it. This wasn't just incompetence or whatever. They knew, oh, this guy's going to last like 5 minutes. This guy has like 5 minutes left before he's dead. We got to wait till after the election. Then we can admit to the world that, yeah, this guy's not there mentally. Wow. I mean, wow. Biden believed it was politically unattainable to have Biden use a wheelchair during his re-election campaign. Given Biden's age, his physician, Kevin O'Connor, also privately said that if he had another bad fall, a wheelchair might be necessary for what could be a very difficult recovery, the authors reported. So they lied. This confirms it. The Biden team knew this guy was melting, physically and mentally. This guy was not there. He kept falling over himself, which we saw 50 times in public. But what was it in private? Was he tripping every other second like he could barely walk? I knew it was bad, but this is 100 times worse, because I always thought that, okay, what we knew in public is what was known in private. No, yeah, he's falling every other day. Our physician is saying he can barely walk. He's melting. His spine's falling apart. He needs a wheelchair to barely function. We never knew any of this. They try to figure out shorter walking paths, began insisting on handrails for steps up to the stage at his appearances, had him wear sneakers more often, changed his visual briefings before events to ensure he knew every step he was expected to take, and guided him more carefully through the movements. Wow, so he couldn't function. That's what they're admitting here. They need to tell him what steps to take. Every single step was coordinated, because they knew if he took one wrong step, he's dead. Wow. Just wow. I mean, listen, we always thought it was kind of a meme that, oh, you know, he has to plan every single step. No, it's serious. He needed to plan every single step because he could barely walk. He doesn't know where he is half the time. And now he's having a hard time walking in a straight line. So now they have to make sure everything is scripted. It's just insane. It's utter insanity. This is just, wow. I can't get over the fact that this is real. This is a real report from Axios, and I'm assuming the book is going to be a lot worse. I mean, this is what they're admitting now. What's going to be in the book? I mean, if they're keeping the good stuff for later, and this is just a teaser like, oh yeah, the president's spine was declining, or melting, I should say. He was mentally on the decline, which everyone knew. But he could barely walk. He was falling every other day. Wow. This is bad. I really want to know, how much did we not know about? Because if this is the beginning of this story, what's going to be dropped on, I think, May 20th, I think it is. I mean, this is bad. And there's other reports coming out that now, apparently in the new book, Original Sin, Biden did not recognize even George Clooney. at a fundraiser. And everyone knows that George Clooney, he was trying to get rid of Biden. Everyone remember that? He was trying to make a big push to get rid of Joe, and now we know why. Apparently, in June of 2024, with his longtime friend George Clooney, he did not remember who he was. He's like, oh, it's George, you know, after like 10 minutes of talking, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm talking to George Clooney. Wow. Just wow. They covered up everything. Every single thing was covered up. And it proves that everyone knew. This wasn't just one person didn't know. No, everyone knew. George Clooney knew. He admitted it publicly. He's basically saying, yeah, the guy's mentally gone. And now in the new book, they're saying, yeah, he did not even recognize George Clooney, who they've been longtime friends. This is insane that we dealt with this for 4 years. And there was a non-zero chance that we were stuck with Biden for an additional 4 years. If he never dropped out and something crazy happened with Trump, there was a non-zero chance that Biden could have somehow snuck in, which, again, I still think there was no pathway for him. But the fact that there was even the 0.01% chance of this happening is terrifying, because he probably would have died within a year. I'm sorry to say that, but if he somehow won, I don't see how President Biden would have lasted longer than a year. Because if they're talking about, oh yeah, day one in his second term, he's in a wheelchair. If you're planning that far ahead, I don't think he's going to live much longer. And if he does, at this point, he can't function. He couldn't function for years, and they covered it up, and now you have Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson cashing in. They're saying, yeah, we didn't know. It's a pile of crap. They knew this entire time, and now they're trying to make a bunch of money off of this. This is disgusting, but I'm very curious to see what else is in the book. Because if they're dropping this now, where he didn't know who George Clooney was, even though they're best friends, and he had to plan every single step he took, because if he took one wrong step, he's dead, and his spine's melting, and they have to put him in a wheelchair. If this is what they're saying now, what's in the rest of the book? I mean, listen, this could be one of the biggest scandals in American history. I think it is, because they covered up the president's decline. And it wasn't one of those things where they didn't know. It sounds like everyone knew, but they tried everything they could to get him over the finish line. They're like, okay, this guy's gonna be in a wheelchair in 5 minutes. His spine is melting, but we got to do just enough to barely win. We're going to keep him as the candidate, and at the last second, we're going to get rid of him. In his second term, we'll get rid of him somehow. But for now, we just got to last a little bit longer. Then we can put him in a wheelchair, and we don't care. This is scary that this nearly happened. There was a non-zero chance it could have happened, but thankfully it didn't. We never have to hear about Biden ever again, except for this growing scandal. Now that the media is starting to admit that, yeah, it was a scandal. This entire time, it was a scandal. They lied to the American people. They knew that it was this bad. Some are actually worse. So things are going to get very interesting in the next couple of days. It will be, because I don't even know what else is in the book. Because if this is what they're dropping now to Axios of all networks, it's going to get a lot worse. I mean, I don't know what, but I just came over the fact that our president, they knew that his spine was melting. He didn't know where he was. He couldn't take the right steps. The fact they knew all of this, but they tried to lecture the American people that, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist for saying that he's not mentally fit. That should make everyone infuriated that they covered this up for years. We should have people thrown in jail over this, because it's a scam. It was a fraud what they pulled on the American people. It's illegal. It's awful what happened. But I don't think anyone's be held accountable. I hope someone is, like, do something with these people. But we'll see. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share it with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.